Gentlemen, and welcome to Slammer Stadium for the 2026 St. Francis home opener between the visiting Roosevelt Lakers and your St. Francis Fighting Saints. Prior to first pitch, we ask that you please rise and kindly remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Starting lineups first for the visiting Lakers. Batting first and playing center field, number 10, Charles Chalk. Batting second, playing left field, number 1, Maxwell Bowers. Batting third, playing third base, number 5, Alejandro Munoz. Batting fourth, the designated hitter, number 4, Jack Ho. Batting fifth, the third baseman, number 11, Tyler Root. Batting sixth, playing second base, number 12, Ian Bagacanza. Batting seventh and doing the catching, number 29, Kyle Janenga. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, number 7, Quinn O'Brien. And batting ninth, playing right field, number 23, Andrew Lucas. On the mound for the Lakers, number 24, Caden Ford. And now the starting lineup for your Fighting Saints. Leading off and playing first base, number 31, Nate Moliska. Batting second and playing second base, number 1, Max Montgomery. Batting third, doing the catching, number 22, Jake Murda. Batting fourth, playing third base, number 13, Ryan Loudon. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, number 24, Brian Graves. Batting sixth, playing shortstop, number 4, Ethan Fleming. Batting seventh, playing right field, number 6, Noah Munson. Batting eighth, playing left field, number 3, Dominic Alberico. And batting ninth, playing center field, number 12, Mitch Thomas. On the mound for the Fighting Saints, number 46, Anthony Panzella.
Good afternoon from Joliet, Illinois, and Slammer Stadium, the home of the University of St. Francis Fighting Saints, who open up the home portion of their 2026 baseball schedule today, taking on the Lakers of Roosevelt University. Terry Bonadonna with you on the call for today's game as the Saints return home following a 4-game series down in Tennessee over the weekend. That's a rare February home game. They'll be on the road for most of this month, but as luck would have it, today is one of the more beautiful days that we've ever seen this time of year. Temperatures in the mid-60s, so a lucky day for the Saints and the Lakers, as it will turn out to be a nice afternoon for baseball. St. Francis on the field looking for victory number 2 this year and getting themselves warmed up. The Lakers will come to bat first today. Roosevelt's looking for their first win of the year. It's their first game of the year, the season opener today for the Lakers. Let's take a look at their starting lineup one more time. C.J. Chalk leads things off playing center field. Batting second is left fielder Maxwell Bowers. Alejandro Munoz hits third and plays third base. Cleanup batter is D.H. Jack Ho. At first base, Tyler Root. Batting sixth, second baseman Ian Bagakanza. The catcher and number 7 hitter is Kyle Jananga. Quinn O'Brien plays shortstop. And batting ninth, right fielder Andrew Lucas. That starting 9 will face a right-hander for St. Francis, making his second start of the season, Anthony Panzella atop the mound, ready to roll. And the first pitch of today's ball game is swung on and missed for strike 1. We are underway, 3:02 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Panzella's next pitch is popped foul on a play off to the right side. That makes the count 0-2. Panzella is starting for the second time this year. He started the season opener against University of the Cumberlands. Went 5 innings in that game. He allowed 4 runs on 6 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. His 0-2 pitch is fouled straight back. Still 0-2. That was by far the best starting performance of any of the Fighting Saints in their season opening 4-game series. It was not the one game that they won. He started game 1 on Thursday. They won game 2 on Thursday as he misses for the first time today. It's 1-2. Bowers is on deck. Munoz to follow. It's 1-2 on the first batter of the ball game, C.J. Chalk. Anthony Panzella goes back into the windup. And his next pitch is popped up to the right side. Shallow into the outfield. Coming in from right field is Noah Munson. Munson makes the catch near the line. And there's the first out of the ball game. 1 up, 1 down against Panzella. So a good start for the Fighting Saints right-hander. Anthony Panzella is a senior from Tinley Park, Illinois, transferred in from Joliet Junior College. Member of the pitching staff for St. Francis a year ago. Made the opening day start this year as he fires strike 1. Bowers tried to check up his swing, but it didn't matter. The pitch was over the outside corner. So Panzella starts him off with a strike. Next pitch misses high, ball 1. These are two programs that are very familiar with each other. Roosevelt was a member of the CCAC for many years, so the Saints and the Lakers matched up every season. Fouled off towards the Fighting Saints dugout, 1-2. That changed last year when Roosevelt made the move, not just out of the CCAC, but out of the NAIA entirely. They moved on to NCAA Division II, members of the GLIAC now. But this is the second year in a row that they have matched up in February with St. Francis in a non-conference game. 1-2 pitch. Hit in the air out to right center field. Well struck by Bowers. That ball finds the gap and it hits up against the base of the wall. Bowers around second trying for 3. The Fighting Saints relay throw is perfect. And so Bowers puts on the brakes and hustles back to second base. Well played defensively by St. Francis, but it is a 1-out double for Maxwell Bowers and the first hit of the season for the Lakers. That ball was hit hard the opposite way, out in between Noah Munson and Mitchell Thomas. It looked like he had a triple on his mind the whole way, but maybe 25 or 30 feet between second and third, he quickly halted and scampered back to second. Munoz takes ball 1 inside. First time in this first inning that Panzella has started a Lakers hitter off with a ball. Alejandro Munoz, a junior who transferred over from Moraine Valley Community College. The 1-0 is taken for a ball, 2-0. Munoz is from Evergreen Park, Illinois originally, which is actually a lot closer to where Roosevelt plays baseball than it is to the school itself, downtown. The 2-0. Munoz fouls it back, 2-1. The campus is right downtown Chicago, the primary campus of Roosevelt University, but the baseball team plays down in Crestwood, so a pretty good distance away from the school. But Munoz grew up right down the street from the ballpark. A little bit more of a commute to get to class. Runner on the move. Panzella steps off the mound, and now he's got him in a rundown. Chase towards third base, and the tag is applied by the third baseman, Ryan Lothan. 2 away. Bowers is caught stealing. Took off a little bit too soon. Panzella was onto him. And the bases are empty. So now, Panzella is potentially one good pitch away from getting out of the inning. 2-1 on Alejandro Munoz. He takes low, ball 3. I was about to say these two programs know each other pretty well. The teams probably don't quite as much. This is a brand new lineup for the Lakers this year. Not many holdovers. Called strike 2. Count goes full. 2 outs, base is empty. 3-2 on Alejandro Munoz in the top of the first inning. Payoff pitch from Panzella. Missed outside. He walked him. So that's back-to-back base runners for the Lakers after the leadoff batter flew to right. Caught stealing, looming large right now, as it's just one runner on with 2 outs as opposed to 2 runners on with 1 out. So Panzella is still one good pitch away from getting out of the inning. So he faces the designated hitter, Jack Ho. Ho is one of the few guys in the lineup today who was a regular part of Roosevelt's lineup last year, too. Strike 1 called. The Lakers struggled in their first year as a Division II outfit. 15 wins overall. They went 5-19 in conference play. Ball high, 1-1. But that's to be expected with that adjustment period, moving up to a higher level of play. And now in year 2 in NCAA Division II, we'll see if they've figured some things out as far as roster construction. Strike called, 1-2. They've been playing by NCAA rules for a few years now, as far as roster regulations, recruiting, things like that, but they're locked into it at this point. 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. Panzella's got his first strikeout of the day. He pitches around a double and a walk, doesn't allow much in the top of the first. We go to the bottom of the inning. St. Francis comes to bat for the first time, scoreless.
In the inning for Roosevelt, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody was left on base. Fans, a reminder, the bathrooms here at Slammer Stadium. To get there, you go on the concourse level on the first base side and use the service elevator. It is the elevator with the beige paint, and you go down to the first level, and once you exit the elevator, you go to the left, right behind the home plate area, and that is where the bathrooms are located. Thank you.
Bottom of the first inning, St. Francis comes to bat for the first time. This is how they line up. Nate Meliska leads off playing first. Batting second, second baseman Max Montgomery. Jake Murda is the catcher. Ryan Lothan bats cleanup and plays third base. Designated hitter is Brian Graves. Hitting sixth, shortstop Ethan Fleming. Noah Munson is in right field. Dominic Alberico bats 8th and plays left, and hitting 9th, center fielder Mitchell Thomas. First pitch of the ball game is slapped into left field. A base hit for Nate Maliska. It rolls into the gap. Maliska is going to try for 2, and with nobody covering second base, he'll make it in there standing up. A little slap double to begin the bottom of the first inning for Nate Maliska. Outstanding offensive start for the Fighting Saints. Didn't hit that ball very hard, but it wasn't played well by either C.J. Chalk or Maxwell Bowers. Maybe some miscommunication between the two of them as well, as they both slowly went after it, seemingly expecting the other to pull it in. And as it rolled into that gap, Maliska easily made it into second base. Here's Max Montgomery taking a first pitch ball from Caden Ferran, starting pitcher for Roosevelt today. Ferran is a right-hander, sophomore from Parkland, Florida. His 1-0 pitch is taken over the outer edge for a strike to even the count. I mentioned most of the lineup has turned over from last year for Roosevelt. A lot of new pitchers on the staff as well, but Ferran isn't one of them. He is a sophomore in his second season with the Lakers. 1-1. Montgomery shows bunt, pulls the bat back and takes a strike. It's 1-2. Ferran last season went 1-7 with a 7.15 ERA. That was in 13 games, 5 of them out of the bullpen, 8 as a starter. Righty to righty, the 1-2 pitch. Bounced to the right side of the infield, scooped up cleanly by Bagaconza, who throws Montgomery out at first base, but a very productive out as Nate Maliska advances to third with 1 away. Nicely done by Montgomery. And now we'll see if Jake Murda can get this run in. Caden Ferran last year went 56 2/3 innings. He allowed 55 runs, 45 of them earned on 75 hits with 43 strikeouts against 27 walks. First pitch to Jake Murda is grounded to the right side. This will get the run in as Bagaconza makes a sliding stop and throws Murda out at first base. 2 down. But Murda brings home the first run of the ball game on an RBI ground out. And the Saints do a great job of manufacturing some offense in this first inning. A little slap double and then back-to-back groundouts to the right side. Good execution all around for the Fighting Saints. 1-0 is our score. Jake Murda drives in his 4th run of the season. 18th run scored by St. Francis in 5 games played this year. Ryan Lothan swings and misses. The bat goes flying into his team's dugout. Strike 1. I mean that bat went flying. That would have, had it not been for the netting above the dugouts, would have landed in the 3rd or 4th row of seats back behind the first base dugout. Instead, it dropped into the St. Francis dugout, and I don't know if he's going to grab a new one or if he's just getting a grip on this one. But he's ready to go back into the batter's box. Ryan Lothan, a .267 hitter. 4 RBIs this year. He does have a home run. This one popped a mile high into left field, not very deep. Maxwell Bowers takes 1 step back, makes the catch, and ends the inning. Turns into a very quick first inning for Caden Ferran, but the leadoff double comes back to haunt him as the Saints manufacture a first inning run. We'll go to the second. 1-0 USF. Top of the second inning, there's a new pitcher in the game for the Fighting Saints. Right-hander Jack Otis, senior transfer from Central Michigan University. Otis faces the first baseman Root to lead things off. And his first pitch is taken for strike one. Jack Otis started a game this weekend down in Tennessee. 3 innings, 5 runs allowed on 4 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. So it's his second appearance, first as a reliever this year. Ball low and away, 1-1. And he faces the first baseman, Tyler Root, the man who came to Roosevelt from Independence, Kentucky, hitting in the 5 spot in his collegiate debut. He takes a ball up and in, 2-1. Anthony Panzella went 1 inning, allowed 1 hit, issued 1 walk, struck out 1. Did not give up any runs in that appearance. 2-1 pitch from Otis. Up and in. Ball 3. Coming into the game, you figured you'd see a bunch of St. Francis pitchers. We'll probably see a bunch of Roosevelt pitchers as well. Still at a point in the season where coaches are trying to see as many different arms as possible. So that's fouled back behind home plate into the suites area here at Slammer Stadium. Full count. I'm a little surprised that Panzella went only 1 inning, considering he already does have a 5-inning appearance under his belt. So I thought Brian Mahalik maybe would be stretching him out a little bit more. Ball below the knees to Roots, and an inauspicious start for Jack Otis as he walks the first batter he faces. 2 of the first 5 batters of the game have walked for Roosevelt. No runs for them yet, though, as Bagacanza steps into the box, looking to change that. The left-handed hitting second baseman. Bagacanza was very involved defensively last inning, made a couple of plays. He shows bunt, takes a ball inside. Nice job by Murda to let that one stop in front of him. Knocked it down with his glove, didn't let it get by, so it is 1-0 on Bagacanza. 5 of the first 7 pitches have missed from Otis. Did walk 2 in a 3-inning performance last week on Thursday. So he has shown some proclivity towards wildness early on this year. So the next pitch finds the outside corner for a strike. Bagacanza elected not to drop down the bunt. And he finds himself in an even count as a result. 1 ball, 1 strike. Root takes his lead away from first base. This time the bunt is dropped down. It's a good one right in front of the pitcher's mound, picked up by Otis. He flings it to first for the out. Root advances to second base on the play, but advantage to St. Francis after that one as they did record an out. Roosevelt, for the second consecutive inning, gets a man into scoring position. They weren't able to do anything with him in the first thanks to the caught stealing by pitcher Anthony Panzella. But now they are a base hit away from tying the score as the catcher Kyle Janenga steps in. First pitch to him misses outside for ball 1. Janenga is that rare Laker who was in the lineup last year. Started 39 of their 51 games, and he hit .265 last season. The 1-0 pitch, check swing fouled into, or near anyway, the St. Francis dugout, evening the count 1-1. Otis has been a little bit wild since entering the ball game. So the Lakers would do him a favor to swing early in the count. Janenga tried not to right there, but he couldn't stop himself. And his check swing turned into a foul ball. There's ball 2. So he's fallen behind 3 consecutive hitters. Root walked, moved up to second on the sacrifice bunt hit by Ian Bagacanza. Now it's 2-1 on the number 7 hitter, catcher Kyle Janenga. Trying to even the score. The Fighting Saints lead 1-0 on a Jake Murda RBI groundout in the bottom of the first inning. 2-1 pitch misses upstairs, 3-1. Otis continues to struggle with the command, but if he can come back and get Jananga here, it'll all be forgotten. Sunny skies over the pitcher's mound as Jack Otis sets for the next one. Ground ball up the middle. That squeaks through. It's a base hit. Root is waved around third base. The throw comes in from center field. It's cut off. The throw goes to second instead, and Jananga is thrown out at second base. The run does score, and we're tied at 1. So an RBI single for Kyle Jananga. Heady play by the Fighting Saints infield as they cut off that throw home and instead threw out Jananga at second base. But it is an RBI. It is a game-tying hit. And now 2 outs and the base is empty, and hopefully everyone is all right wearing gold. Out in the infield right now. A quick meeting with the training staff coming out. There was maybe a slight collision at second base with Jananga sliding in. And so Max Montgomery took a little bit of a hit, but he seems to be okay. He's waved off any help. So everyone's all right. Everyone will stay in the game. And we will continue with 2 outs and the base is empty. 1 run is in for Roosevelt in the top of the second inning. First pitch to the number 8 batter, Quinn O'Brien, is over for strike 1. Next one to O'Brien is up and in. That evens the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. We're not yet 2 innings into the game. Roosevelt has already had 2 different players thrown out on the base paths. Ball 2. That one seems a little bit more forgivable in that the run did score anyway. So it wasn't a squandered scoring opportunity the way that it was in the first. It was just maybe an opportunity to build a big rally halted by Jananga getting thrown out between first and second as O'Brien takes ball 3. Next pitch is fouled away and out of play. The count goes full. 13 of Otis's 21 pitches this inning have missed the zone. He walked the leadoff man, none since then. But after that foul ball, he's 1 strike away from ending the inning. Payoff pitch to O'Brien. Ground ball up the middle. Nice play by Fleming behind second base. He sets his feet, throws to first in time. The throw pulled Nate Maliska off the bag. He had to jump up to make the catch. Came down on top of first base, though, just a hair ahead of Quinn O'Brien hustling down the line. So the inning comes to a close, and Roosevelt settles for 1 run on 1 hit. Nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of the second, tied up in Joliet. Tied at 1 as we move into the bottom of the second inning. St. Francis will get their second look at Caden Ferran. Gave up a leadoff double last inning, then retired 3 in a row and did so very quickly. He faces Brian Graves, who swings and misses for strike 1. Graves, the designated hitter today, gets just his second start of the season. Went 1 for 4 with a double and 2 RBIs in his first outing. So give him another look. He takes a ball inside. The count is even at 1. Graves transferred over from Judson University. He's been with St. Francis now the last couple of years. Swings and misses. The count is 1-2. Nate Maliska hit a leadoff double in the bottom of the first inning. And then 4 pitches later, moved to third on a ground out. 1 pitch after that, scored on another ground out. So Ferran really made quick work of the Saints in the first. As Graves flies this one out to right field down the line. Andrew Lucas over near the bullpen makes the catch. Graves got under it, and he is the first out recorded in the bottom of the second inning. 4 straight retired by Caden Ferran. Threw only 8 total pitches in the first inning, despite allowing that 1 run. Made it through the inning quickly, and it's off to a good start this one as well, retiring Graves to lead it off. Here's Fleming taking strike 1. Ethan Fleming, the senior pitcher slash infielder for the Fighting Saints, gets his first at bat. Takes a ball outside. It's 1-1. Tough offensive start to the season for Fleming. He's just 1 for 13 overall at the plate. He has started all 5 games now this season. It's a high bouncer out to center field and down for a base hit. Out of the reach of either Ian Bagacanza or Quinn O'Brien. Fleming has his second hit of the season. Snaps a string of 4 straight retired by Ferran. Then he puts the leading run on base with 1 out for the Fighting Saints in front of Noah Munson. Munson is looking for his first hit of the year. He takes ball 1 inside from Ferran. Noah Munson is 0 for 6 this year. Sophomore from Minooka is starting for the 3rd time on the season. It's a line drive into center field. Coming in and playing it on a couple of bounces is C.J. Chalk. Noah Munson does have his first hit of the year. Fleming moves up to second base on the play, 2 on with only 1 out for the Saints. Good offensive start to this one as they look to add to their run total and reclaim the lead. Soft line drive off the bat of Munson, but he placed it absolutely perfectly in between Bagacanza, O'Brien, and Chalk. Very similar location, differently hit ball, but a very similar location to Ethan Fleming's single. There's a bunt down the third base line, picked up by the pitcher. Ferran throws to first in time to retire Alberico. Close play over at first base. That could very easily gone the Fighting Saints' way. And the bases would be loaded right now. Instead, he does sacrifice himself to move up his teammates. Fleming is up to third base. Munson is at second. Saints are cooking with a chance here with Mitchell Thomas coming up. A good number 9 hitter for the Fighting Saints, and we'll see if he faces Caden Ferran as the Roosevelt infield and coaching staff gather on the mound to talk with Ferran and try to figure out how to get out of this inning. We've seen a lot of small ball so far today. Saints got a run on back-to-back groundouts, advancing a base runner in the first inning. And then for Roosevelt in the second, a walk, a sacrifice bunt, and a base hit is how they scored. And now here come the Saints again with a couple of singles and a sacrifice bunt. And Mitchell Thomas, the left-handed hitting outfielder, digging in. First pitch to Thomas is taken for ball one. Mitchell Thomas is hitting .222 this year. He's 2 for 9 with 3 walks and 1 hit by pitch. So despite just a 2 for 9 mark at the plate, he's got a .462 on base percentage. He takes a ball up and away, 2-0. A walk would load the bases. Top of the order due up next. Nate Meliska is already the hottest hitter around. Ferran doesn't want to see him come up with the bags full. Pickoff throw to second, nearly got him, but Munson was able to dive back to the bag safely. It does feel like St. Francis has the offensive momentum for this inning. But there are 2 outs. That pickoff would have ended the inning. Any kind of out here will do for the Lakers. Hitters count, though. Fly ball down the left field line, fouling out of play. 2-1 on Mitchell Thomas. Thomas is a senior who started his career right down the street at Joliet Junior College before coming over here to St. Francis. He swings and misses, 2-2. It's not an uncommon transition. 2 schools are located so close to one another. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on. 2 outs, bottom of the second. Huge pitch coming up to Mitchell Thomas. Could be Caden Ferran's last inning. He wants to finish strong. The 2-2 misses for ball 3. Good patient at bat for Thomas. Munson takes his lead from second base. Fleming creeps down the third base line. Thomas trying to get them both in with 1 swing of the bat. Instead, he doesn't swing the bat and takes strike 3 over the inside corner. The inning is over. Despite a pair of hits to center field, St. Francis doesn't score in the second. They leave him at second and third. On our way to the third inning, we're tied at 1.
Pitching for the Fighting Saints, number 7, Jake Jerka.
Top of the third inning, and St. Francis makes the move to their third pitcher of the game. Jacob Jerka is out there for the second time this year. And Jerka's first pitch misses to the right fielder Andrew Lucas for ball 1. Second appearance this year for Jerka, no record and even 9 ERA. Ball 2. In his game against Cumberland, Jerka went 3 innings, allowed 3 runs, all of them earned on 4 hits. with 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. Not off to the best start command-wise here, as it's 3-0 on the right fielder Andrew Lucas making his season debut. Lucas takes strike 1. Everybody for Roosevelt, of course, is making their season debut today. But this is their number 9 hitter, so at least as far as this lineup is concerned, this is the last guy to be making his debut at the plate as he takes ball 4. So 5-pitch walk opens up the inning. And now we circle back to the top of the order and C.J. Chalk. Chalk worked the count before flying out to right field his first time up. He takes ball 1 here. Saints as a staff today, through 2+ innings, have thrown more balls than strikes. There's a called strike. It's 1-1. That's obviously something that'll need to get worked out. That is something that oftentimes your command is not up to speed once the season begins. Line drive into right field. Frozen on the spot is Noah Munson. He makes the catch. Chalk is retired. Munson didn't need to move his feet right there. That ball whistled right at him. So the number 1 hitter in the lineup is retired for the second time today. He's gone out to Munson twice. And that brings up Maxwell Bowers. Bowers takes ball 1. Similar situation to last inning. In both the second and the third, Roosevelt was able to draw a leadoff walk. In the second inning, the next man up bunted him over. This time, Jason Becker decided not to play that card, allowing Chalk to swing away. And in doing so, Chalk was not able to advance the runner. 1-1 on Bowers, who is trying to advance the runner and maybe a little bit more. He's already shown some power today as the pickoff throw to first sends Lucas back to the bag. Bowers doubled into deep right center field his first time up. Another pickoff attempt. Again, Lucas dives back in. One and one. Lifted down the right field line, twisting towards foul territory, and it lands in the St. Francis bullpen. Unplayable, foul ball, 1-2 on Bowers. After the leadoff walk, Jerka is starting to figure out that command thing a little bit more. Got Chalk to line out, and now he's ahead of Bowers, the first hitter this inning in which he has been able to pitch from ahead in the count. Now it's even, 2-2. Lucas takes his lead from first, and Jerka throws in that direction to send him diving back to the bag. I mentioned that control is something that sometimes eludes you at the beginning of the season. You start to work the kinks out as the season rolls on. Liner to short, caught by Fleming. He throws back to first, looking for the double play, and he's not able to get it. But he does put the squeeze on out number 2 as Bowers hits a screamer right at the shortstop, 2 down. Last chance for the Lakers in this third inning belongs to Alejandro Munoz. Munoz walked in the first inning. No official at-bats for him. 1 walk in every inning so far for St. Francis pitchers as Lucas takes off for second and makes it in easily. A stolen base, first of the season for Roosevelt. The count is 1-0 on Alejandro Munoz. No chance to catch him as that pitch skipped in the dirt. So all Murda could do was try not to let the ball get past him and make sure that the runner stopped at second. Roller to the right side of the infield. Diving attempt from Montgomery. It kicks off his glove and into right field. And Lucas comes in to score. Roosevelt takes a 2-1 lead. An RBI base hit for Alejandro Munoz, and a tough one for the Fighting Saints as Montgomery got to that ball. He didn't even need to make the play. If he could have just kept it on the infield, he at least would have prevented Lucas from scoring. But he wasn't able to keep it on the infield as he dove for it. It hit off his glove and rolled deep enough into right field that Lucas was able to score all the way from second base without a throw. Strike one called on Jack Ho, the DH who struck out swinging in the first inning. Pickoff attempt. Munoz goes back. RBI for Alejandro Munoz. And for the first time today, Roosevelt is playing from ahead. 2-1 is the scores. That's popped up foul and out of play. 0-2. So despite all the trouble this inning, primarily with 2 outs, Jacob Jerka is 1 strike away from ending the inning. Ball low to even the count. 1-2 now. Back-to-back innings, St. Francis pitchers have issued a leadoff walk, and back-to-back innings, those walks have come in to score. 1-2. Line drive into right center field. Munson on the run, but he won't get there. It's off the wall on a couple of bounces. Munoz around third base. The throw comes in from shallow right field, and it's not in time. It's an RBI double for Jack Ho. And he has doubled the Lakers' lead. It's 3-1. Back-to-back 2-out RBI hits for Roosevelt. Jack Ho, who was held to 18 RBIs in 43 games last year, has his first one this season, not yet 3 innings into the campaign. Tyler Roots takes ball 1 inside. Jerka is struggling in this 3rd inning appearance for St. Francis. The bullpen for the Fighting Saints is going again. This is already their 3rd pitcher in 3 innings. As Jerka misses up and away, 2-0. We probably will see a different guy every inning today. 2-0. Ball 3 high. St. Francis scored 1 in the bottom of the 1st. Since then, 3 unanswered runs for Roosevelt. Called strike 1 on Root, who walked and scored in the 2nd inning. And there's ball 4 outside. 2nd walk issued this inning by Jerka. 4th walk issued this game by the Fighting Saints. And now their number 6 hitter, Ian Bagacanza, will become the 7th man to bat this inning. First pitch, strike. 0-1 on Bagacanza, who dropped down a sacrifice bunt his first time up. There's a called strike, 0-2. Jerka's gotten back into it here. He's been pitching from behind all inning, but now looks to put away Bagacanza. Ground ball to the right side. Montgomery gets in front of it, flips to second, and ends the inning on the 4-6 fielder's choice. But 2 runs score for Roosevelt. A couple of hits, a couple of walks, and a couple of RBIs as we go to the bottom of the 3rd. They lead the game 3-1. For the first time today, St. Francis is playing from behind. They trail 3-1 in the bottom of the third inning, and they'll bring up their top of the order, Maliska, Montgomery, and Murda, against a new Lakers pitcher. I'll tell you about the right-hander in just a moment. First is pitch to Maliska, who doubled his first time up. Ball one outside. Aramis Salmarone is the pitcher on the mound right now. Senior from the north side of Chicago. Fouled back off the screen, 1-1. Salmarone comes in for Caden Ferran, who went 2 innings and allowed 1 run on 3 hits. No walks, no strikeouts. Fly ball into left center. Chalk started in, now goes back and makes the catch. Looked like a routine play off the bat. Nearly misjudged enough by Chalk to drop in for a base hit. But Chalk did recover well and track it down for the first out of the inning. Down to the number 2 hitter, Max Montgomery. Montgomery grounded out his first time up, but it was a good ground out. Give him the assist for scoring a run. Popped up on the infield. Playable for a few different guys. The catch will be made by the second baseman, Ian Bagacanza. A couple of quick outs recorded here in the third. It's been a quick start to the game for Roosevelt pitching. Caden Ferran threw only 8 pitches in the first. He doubled that in the second inning, 16 pitches, but still. 28 total pitches now to get through 2 2/3 innings from a pair of Lakers. Jake Murda will be a tough out. He slaps it into right field, nearly over the head of Andrew Lucas, but Lucas makes a running grab. So these outfielders for the Lakers are having a little bit of trouble with the ball off the bat, but the last 2 times they have recovered with no problem in the end. A quick 1-2-3 inning. Just 5 pitches thrown by the reliever Salmarone. We go to the 4th. Our score is 3-1, Lakers on top.
Now pitching for the Fighting Saints, number 41, Michael Leonard. Leading off for the Lakers, the catcher, number
3 innings down, 6 to go here in the season opener at Slammers Stadium in Joliet. The visiting Roosevelt Lakers have a 3-1 lead on the Saints. We're in the top of the 4th, and Kyle Janenga leads things off. He takes strike 1 from a new St. Francis pitcher, sophomore right-hander Michael Leonard. Leonard is making his 2nd appearance of the season, first as a reliever. His 0-1 misses low and outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. In his season debut, Leonard took the loss over an inning and a third performance. He allowed 8 runs on 7 hits with 1 walk and no strikeouts. So something to bounce back from today. Popped off the end of the bat out into the right field foul territory. It lands in the bullpen of St. Francis, unreachable for either the right fielder or the first baseman, or the second baseman for that matter. 1-2 on Kyle Janenga. Janenga drove in the first run of the game for Roosevelt back in the 2nd inning with an RBI 1-out single. Since then, they've added 2 more runs to their lead. But Janenga trying to become 2 for 2. Check swing on a ball that kicks off of Jake Murda and rolls away. Three runs on 4 hits for the Lakers. 1 run on 3 hits for the Fighting Saints. Roosevelt has had at least 2 base runners in every inning so far. 1-2. Sharp grounder, just foul beyond third base. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kyle Janenga nearly had himself extra bases right there. He roped that one down the line. Just barely kicked foul before reaching third base. Good at bat from the guy leading off the 4th inning. This is the 6th pitch. And it misses for ball 2. The last 2 innings both began with leadoff walks. And both of those guys eventually came in to score. So Leonard knows what's at stake here. Big at bat leading off the inning, even if it is the 7, 8, and 9 hitters due up. Ball 3, low and away. Janenga will see an 8th pitch. All the momentum on Roosevelt's side right now as they have scored 3 unanswered runs. Now looking for more base runners. Weak roller down the first base line. It stays fair. Picked up by Maliska, who carries it to the bag just in time for the out. That was a dangerous play. Maliska and Leonard both went for the ball, and to avoid a collision, they both slowed down and looked at each other to see which one of us should have it. And at that point, it seemed like an easy play. It didn't really matter who took it as long as somebody did. But because of that hesitation, it became a close play. And Maliska really had to hurry over to first base. Quinn O'Brien is 0 for 1, grounded out to the shortstop in the 2nd inning. Strike 1 over the outside corner. First time the leadoff batter has been retired since the 1st inning. That's a good sign for the Saints. The 0-1 pitch misses to even the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out, nobody on. And again, we have not seen a lot of that tonight. 1 out, nobody on situations for this Roosevelt offense. Breaking ball inside. Another hitter's count here at 2-1. Michael Leonard is the 4th pitcher of the game for the Fighting Saints. Fly ball into center field right at Mitchell Thomas, who takes about 1.5 steps to his right before putting it away. 2 down. This would be the first 1-2-3 inning of the game if Leonard can get it. Leonard's the 4th pitcher of the day for St. Francis. Expect to see 9 of them. Seems as though Brian Mahalik will go with a different guy every inning. First pitch to Lucas is knocked in the air out to right field. Towards the line, Munson shields his eyes from the sun and makes the catch. Quick ending to the inning. Nice job by Munson making that catch, and a good job by Leonard retiring all three batters he faced here in the fourth inning. We'll head to the bottom of the frame. 3-1, Roosevelt on top.
In the inning for Roosevelt, no runs, no hits, no errors, and no runners were left on base.
The Fighting Saints come up to bat in the bottom of the fourth inning, looking to cut into this Roosevelt lead. 3-1 is the score. The Saints scored first in the bottom of the first inning. 3 straight runs for Roosevelt since then. Ryan Lothan gets the at-bat to lead off the fourth inning and takes ball 1. Second inning on the mound for Aramis Salmarone. Through just 5 pitches in retiring the Saints in order in the third. His 1-0 offering misses inside. 2 balls and no strikes on Lothan, who flew out to left field his first time up. 0 for 1 so far in this game. Hitting .267 this year coming in. Strike called, 2-1. Also hit a home run down in Tennessee this weekend. He's the only Fighting Saint to do that. There were 10 home runs hit in that 4-game series, but only one of them off the bat of a Fighting Saint. Ball upstairs, 3-1. So this next pitch will mean that for Salmarone, he will have thrown as many this inning already as he did in the entire third. When he set the side down in order without allowing a base runner. 3-1 pitch. Misses outside, ball 4. So a man aboard to lead off the fourth inning for St. Francis. This is their 4th base runner of the game, but it's the first walk issued by a Roosevelt pitcher, and we've seen what leadoff walks can do. St. Francis has issued 2 of them, and both of those men came around to score. Happened in the second and the third innings. Brian Graves takes a hefty hack at a pitch, slow and in for strike 1. Graves is 0 for 1, flew out to right field in the second inning. Fifth-year senior, who again started his career at Judson. Takes a ball up and away, 1-1. Quick look over to first base, over the left shoulder of Aramis Salmarone. He's ready for the 1-1. Graves hits it high in the air out to center field. C.J. Chalk camps under it, waits for it to come down, and finally makes the catch. Lothan was all the way down to second base, so he has to sprint back to his bag, but he makes it in easily. as Graves flies out for the first out of the inning. No advance of the runner. It's the second at bat of the game for Graves. Both times up, he's hit the ball pretty well, but gotten way under them. That was a mile-high fly to center field. And now Ethan Fleming bats with 1 out and 1 on. First pitch to Fleming, swung on and missed. Sal Marone is lit very interestingly on the mound right now. The shadows of the upper deck are creeping over the infield. Most of the infield is now in shade. Throw over to first base. The runner dives back in safely. But the pitcher standing atop the rubber has about half his body covered in shadow, the bottom half, and then around the waist, all of a sudden, he's in bright sunlight, which is an interesting condition for the hitter. Swing and a miss from Ethan Fleming. 0-2. You often hear talk about how difficult it is when the shadows are between home plate and the pitcher's mound, because the ball starts in sunlight and then enters shadow as Fleming hits it up the middle, a base hit. Not a hard hit ball from Ethan Fleming, but he found the hole between second and short. Fleming is 2 for 2, came into today's game with just 1 hit in 4 games this year. He's got 2 hits in this one. Lothan advances to second base. And now there are 2 on with only 1 out for Noah Munson. Tying run on base in the bottom of the 4th inning for the Fighting Saints. Munson is 1 for 1. Like Fleming, he used the middle of the field his last time up. Ball outside, 1-0. That's 4 hits in the game now for the Fighting Saints, and 3 of them have been softly hit to center field. They'll take whatever hit they can get, whatever base runner they can get. Strike at the knees, 1-1. But I was talking about the lighting, which continues to creep further and further up the body, the shadows do, of Aramis Salmarone. But the way he's positioned right now, when he's in his set position, sets at the waist, the ball starts in shade, and then as he rears back, it's in sunlight again, and then it dips back into shade as it approaches the plate. So a little bit more difficult for the hitters to keep track of, although it didn't hurt Fleming at all as he singled up the middle. Now it's 2-1 on Noah Munson. After a lightning fast bottom of the 3rd inning, Salmarone is struggling here in the 4th. He throws back to second base and he gets the pickoff. Lothan is caught out at second base. A big time pickoff move from Aramis Salmarone, a pitcher who is struggling. And maybe that will light a fire under him and end those struggles. In any case, it certainly quells the rally of St. Francis. They had runners at first and second with 2 outs. And now they're down with 1 out, rather. Now they're down to 2 outs with a runner at first. Ball low and in on Munson, 3-1. Good speed over at first base with Ethan Fleming. Hitters count here, 3-1 on Noah Munson. So this scoring chance is not gone. Just not quite as promising as it was a moment ago. Ground ball to first base just outside the line as it passes the bag and into right field. The count goes to 3-2 on the foul ball. So an extra base hit here from Munson would almost certainly put another run on the board for the Fighting Saints. Fleming will be going with contact. Full count pitch, righty to lefty. Munson takes ball 4, second walk of the inning, issued by Salmarone. Fleming moves up to second base, and again it's 2 outs. Or excuse me, again it's 2 on, now with 2 outs. It's a slightly different situation from before. Dominic Alberico steps in. No official at bat. Dropped down a sacrifice bunt his first time up. Came up with runners at first and second. But that time there was only one out. This time around he'll have to swing away, trying to get a run in himself. Swings to the first pitch and bounces it to the shortstop. O'Brien charges it, flips it over to second base, and ends the inning on a fielder's choice. Nice work by Salmarone and company to get out of a big jam. Saints get 3 base runners in the fourth, but they don't score. They leave 2. On our way to inning number 5 here in the home opener for St. Francis. They trail Roosevelt 3-1.
Leading off for the Lakers, the center fielder, number 10, Charles Chalk.
3-1, Roosevelt leads St. Francis in the top of the 5th inning. Top of the order due up for the Lakers in the 5th, starting with C.J. Chalk, who swings the first pitch, launches it in right field. Munson chases it back, reaches up, can't grab it. Over his head and out to the warning track. Chalk slides into second base. It's a leadoff double, just one pitch into the 5th inning. Heck of a start here for Roosevelt in the 5th. First hit of the ball game for Chalk. And it comes off the new St. Francis pitcher, the veteran Quinn McGuire. Right-hander coming off of a fine season last year, making his second appearance this season. McGuire, his first time out, went 3 innings, allowed 1 run on 1 hit, 1 walk. He struck out 2. He drops in strike 1 on Maxwell Bowers. Bowers is 1 for 2. He doubled in the first inning. Lined out to the shortstop in the 3rd. The 0-1 is over for a strike, 0-2. McGuire's not a huge strikeout pitcher, but he could use one right here with a runner at second and nobody out. Does not want to allow Bowers to advance this base runner. Ball up and in, 1-2. We're only in the 5th inning, so it's not as though that runner at second is the be-all, end-all, but the way this game has been progressing, and it's starting to get later, nearing the halfway point of the game. St. Francis has to be very wary about every base runners. That's line to second, caught by Montgomery. Nice job by Montgomery to retire Bowers. 1 away. That was the second man to hit this inning and the second one to hit the ball hard. Montgomery was positioned perfectly for it. The ball was hit just off to his right. I was talking about the lighting last inning and how difficult it was for the pitcher and the hitter. Specifically for the hitter, dealing with the pitcher dropping in and out of shadow, which is no longer the case. It's completely in the shade now. Ball inside on Alejandro Munoz. But it's the same deal for the fielders. Max Montgomery is standing in the sunlight. just barely. That ball was traveling in shade all the way to him, and all of a sudden it dipped into the sunlight and it got on him in a hurry. 1-0 to Munoz, misses inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Perfect day at the plate so far today for the third baseman Alejandro Munoz. He walked in the first, singled in the third, so he's been up twice, he's been on twice. He's got an RBI and he's got a run scored. And he's got a 2-1 count as he takes that one in the zone. The DH, Jack Ho, is on deck. Big potential run over at second base right now. The 2-1 pitch. Lined foul to the right side, off the netting. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. With 1 out now, that runner at second is not quite as daunting as he was with nobody out. Nearly advanced to third there on a pitch in the dirt, but Murta was able to block it. Count goes full. With 1 out, you don't have to worry as much about him potentially advancing to third base. Still, McGuire would love a strikeout right here, but any kind of out will do now. Payoff pitch. Tapper to the left side of the infield. This should be a difficult play for Loth, and he barehands it and doesn't have a play. It's an infield hit for Munoz. Chalk advances to third, and they're at the corners on the second hit of the inning. Well, baseball is an unfair game sometimes. Maxwell Bowers came up, hit a rocket, but hit it right at Max Montgomery. And so despite hitting the ball right on the screws, he was out. And then Munoz came up immediately afterwards, hit it about as softly as he could. Just a tapper to the third baseman, and Lothan didn't have a play. So his turns into a base hit as Jack Ho takes ball 1. So to recap, 2 hitters, 1 hit it hard, 1 hit it soft. One of them got on base, the other didn't. Maybe not in the order you'd expect. But I guess justice is served in the end. Ball inside, 2-0. Jack Ho last season hit 197 for Roosevelt, 2 homers, 18 RBIs. Finished with 8 extra base hits in total last year. He's already got 1 this season. An RBI double his last time up. He takes a strike from McGuire, 2-1. McGuire's the 5th pitcher of the day. Everybody's gone 1 inning for the Saints. Michael Leonard through the 4th. He's the only one to have a clean inning so far. Set him down in order in the top of the 4th inning with a ground out and a couple of flyouts. Two balls, 1 strike on Jack Ho. H-O-H. Ho pops it foul and out of play. We're even. 2-2. Big at bat here for both teams. Roosevelt tries to extend their 2-run lead. 2-2 with the runner on the move is fouled back. Munoz was going from first base on that pitch. Ho protecting with 2 strikes. Got just a piece of it. That pitch did look like it was drifting outside. Almost had the appearance of a hit and run. That wasn't the case. I think Ho was just extending the zone a little bit to make sure with 2 strikes that he was being careful. Ball up and in, full count. Three and 2 on Ho. Munoz at first, Chalk at third. Next pitch from McGuire. Fouled away. Ho will see an 8th pitch in this at bat. Munoz was on the move again on that last one. He's run on 2 of the last 3 pitches, but both of them have turned into foul balls, so he's stuck at first base, just tiring himself out right now. Throw to first base, he's back in. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, runners at the corners. Roosevelt leads by 2 in the top of the 5th. 20th pitch of the inning coming up from Quinn McGuire. Lined into left field, that's a hit. It'll score at least 1 as the left fielder Alberico goes to cut it off. Munoz rounds third base. He'll score as well. A 2-run double from Jack Ho, and Roosevelt has doubled their lead. Ho is now 2 for 3 today with 2 doubles and 3 runs batted in. Big game for Jack Ho starting out his senior year.
Now batting for the Lakers, the first baseman, number 11, Tyler Root.
And now it's the number 5 hitter and first baseman, Tyler Root. Root takes a first pitch strike. He has not been retired today. 3, 4, and 5 in the order have combined to bat 8 times and have only been set down once by this combination of St. Francis pitchers. The 0-1 dances over the inside corner, 0-2. Root hasn't had to swing the bat yet either, though. In his 2 trips to the plate, he has walked both times. 4 walks total in the game for St. Francis pitching. Ball low and away, 1-2. Been a long, difficult inning for McGuire. Well over 20 pitches already. Still just 1 out recorded. He's given up 3 hits. He was a lot sharper in his season debut. Ball outside, 2-2. Roosevelt scored a run in the second inning, 2 more in the third to take the lead. And they have scored 2 runs in the top of the 5th to put themselves in pretty good shape here in the top of the 5th inning. Ball low, it's 3-2. Still 5 innings of offense ahead for the Fighting Saints, so they'll have plenty of time to make their comeback, but Roosevelt continues to pile on, especially with the base runners. Not all of them have come around. They've had a couple of guys thrown out on the bases already in the game. Liner off of McGuire. It ricochets over to the second baseman Montgomery, who throws to first and gets the out. Ho advances to third base on the play. 2 down. It was a missile right back up the middle. Quinn McGuire tried to make the catch, but wasn't able to because it was hit so hard he would have had to react so quickly. But he did the next best thing. He got out of the way. I think it may have nicked off of him, deflected over to Montgomery, but it looked like it was pretty close to slipping straight through and may have. Fly ball hit by Bagacanza, shallow left center field, playable for a couple of guys, but it's the center fielder Mitchell Thomas who ends up making the catch. So a tough 5th inning worked by Quinn McGuire, but he works his way out of it after allowing the 2 runs. Gets the last 2 men in order, and the Lakers leave a man at third base, but they do add to their lead with those 2 runs on 3 hits. And at the halfway point of today's game, it's the Lakers 5 and the Saints 1. Bottom 5, St. Francis has some work to do as they come to bat, trailing 5-1. Their 9-1-2 hitters will come up against a new Roosevelt pitcher. Right-hander Jason Kozlowski, senior from Naperville, Illinois. Came over from the College of DuPage. Kozlowski, year number 2 with the Lakers. Pitch number 1 of this season is low and in for ball 1 on Mitchell Thomas, who struck out looking his first time up. The only strikeout of the game so far for Lakers pitchers. This is the third hurler of the game. 1-0 pitch. Tapped down the first base line. It trickles foul, and the count is 1-1. Caden Ferrand started. He went 2. Aramis Salmarone came in next and also threw 2 innings, and now it's Jason Kozlowski, who pitched 3 times last year. Had no record, a 20.25 ERA. Pitched a total of an inning and a third last season and allowed 3 runs on 2 hits with 5 walks and 1 strikeout. Righty to lefty, the 1-1 pitch to Mitchell Thomas. Swung on and missed. So Brian Mahalick's strategy in this one has been to leave everybody out there for 1 inning each. Jason Becker has gone with 2 innings each for all of his pitchers. We'll see if Kozlowski gets the same treatment. Ball inside, 2-2. If he does throw 2 innings today, it'll be more than his entire 2025 output. So it's up to the Saints to try to knock him out early with some good offense. 2-2. Outside ball 3. Fell behind Thomas, came back to work the count even, and now it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Kozlowski sets and delivers. Line drive to the right side and out of the reach of Bagacanza. Base hit for Mitchell Thomas, and the Fighting Saints have their leadoff man on for the 3rd time in 5 innings today. Getting those base runners has not been a problem for St. Francis. Trying to get them in has been. In the first, they had 1 hit and then brought him in on a couple of groundouts. So that was a well-executed inning. Since then, though, in the last 3 innings, they have not scored. They've left 4 men on. Nate Maliska takes a ball up and in, 1-0. Maliska has scored the only run in today's game for the Fighting Saints. He doubled on the very first pitch in the bottom of the 1st inning. Later came around to score on a ground out. He hits this on the ground, but it's foul past first base, evening the count at 1. Still plenty of time left in this game for the Fighting Saints. They don't have to think about 4 or 5 run homers, especially not the 5-run kinds. Those don't happen very often. 1-1 to Maliska. Tapped foul back off the screen. 1-2. The point is, at this stage of the game down 4, you're always thinking big inning. It's always nice to be able to put up a crooked number, but you've got the leadoff man on base. Priority number 1 just has to be to score that guy. If you get out of this inning with 1 run, at least you're putting yourselves in position to make a comeback late. Fouled off to the left side off the screen, still 1-2. Maliska putting up a good fight here in his 3rd at bat of the game. 1 for 2. He's flown out to center field to go along with that leadoff double back in the 1st. The 1-2 is popped foul and out of play. He'll see a 6th pitch here. Another 1-2 offering. 3rd one of those. Well, if nothing else, Kozlowski is finding the strike zone right now. 7 of his first 11 pitches have been strikes. Fouled off again by Maliska. So it's still 1-2. 8 of the first 12 pitches from Kozlowski have been strikes, and it's encouraging because last year he walked 5 batters in only an inning and a third all season. So control was a big part of the reason he was not able to become one of the go-to guys for the Lakers. Time is called before the next pitch. 7 hits so far for the Lakers, 5 for the Fighting Saints. 5-1 is our score. Another 1-2 from Kozlowski. Finally misses outside. 2-2. That comes after 3 consecutive foul balls. So the at-bat will see at least 8 pitches. Mitchell Thomas, so far, has been stationary over at first base, taking a very short lead. Fly ball left side foul and out of play. That's the 4th 2-strike foul hit by Nate Meliska. Mitchell Thomas still making no indications of moving from first base. He'll wait for Meliska to put the ball in play. He's put the bat on the ball a lot, just hasn't put it in play. Another 2-2. Low and in, ball 3. So the next pitch will be the 10th of the at-bat from Kozlowski to Meliska. Thomas on 3-2, still not taking much of a lead. Payoff pitch. And the dirt, ball 4. A hard-earned walk by Nate Meliska. 3rd walk issued by Roosevelt pitching today. And that puts runners at first and second with nobody out in front of Max Montgomery. Very possibly a bunting situation for Montgomery here. The Lakers are thinking the same thing as they bring their corner infielders in. The catcher, Kyle Janenga, goes out to talk with Kozlowski before Montgomery digs in. And I'll reiterate what I said before. Now you have runners at first and second with nobody out. You really can start thinking of a big inning. But, again, priority number 1 is making sure you get at least 1 run here. Now that you've got 2 men on base, a Montgomery bunt would put them both into scoring position with only 1 out. And the heart of the order coming up. Montgomery is 2 for 14 at the plate so far this season, a 143 batting average, but he does already have 2 sacrifices. I'd be surprised if we don't see him attempting for a 3rd here. He is swinging away, bounces it down the third base line. It's picked up by Munoz, who steps on the bag and throws across the diamond for a double play. So after a very difficult start to the inning for Kozlowski, on just 1 pitch, he records 2 outs. Meliska moves up to second base. And now Roosevelt is in position to get out of the inning without anybody scoring. So a surprise decision from Brian Mahalik, who typically does like to call for sacrifices. He didn't that time. And it ended up leading to 2 outs. Jake Murda will try to come through with a 2-out RBI hit. He takes strike 1 over the inner third. Thomas was retired on the double play at third base. Montgomery retired as well on the throw across from Munoz. Meliska still alive at second. The 0-1 pitch to Murda. Ground ball up the middle. Charging is O'Brien. The shortstop gloves it in front of second base and throws to first to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit. No errors, 1 man left on base. St. Francis comes up empty in the 5th as we head to the 6th inning. Our score is 5-1 Lakers.
In the inning for the Fighting Saints, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner was left on base. pitching for the Fighting Saints, number 26, Jay Granese. Leading off for the Lakers, the catcher, number 29, Kyle Janega.
It's the 6th inning in Joliet, and the bottom of the order is due up for Roosevelt, leading 5-1. Kyle Janenga, the number 7 batter and catcher, stands in and takes ball 1 from the new pitcher for St. Francis. It is Jake Granese, transfer from Purdue Northwest. He misses again. 2 balls and no strikes. Second appearance for Granese, his first time out there. He allowed 4 runs on 6 hits. No walks, no strikeouts in just a third of an inning. So looking for a bounce-back performance today, not off to the best start. So he sends one to the backstop, 3-0 on Janenga. Kyle Janenga today is 1 for 2. Drove in a run with an RBI single in the second inning. He grounded out in the 4th. There's a called strike. It's over the outside corner, 3-1. Janenga, O'Brien, and Lucas. That's your 3 hitters this inning. That clips the outside corner as well. And the count goes to 3-2. Roosevelt trying to build on their lead. They trailed 1-0 after the first inning, but they've dominated this game ever since. 1 run in the second, 2 in the third, 2 in the fifth, all against different St. Francis pitchers. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Granese bounces back. After falling behind 3-0, none of those 3 pitches particularly close. He comes back with 3 straight hard ones in the zone, and he gets Janenga to swing through strike 3. First strikeout for a Fighting Saints pitcher since the first inning. Second of the game. Here's Quinn O'Brien. The shortstop takes ball 1. O'Brien is hitless today. He's 0 for 2. Grounded out in the second, flew out in the 4th. 1-0. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. So he's got a pattern here. Doesn't start at bats off throwing strikes, but at least the first time around he was able to finish throwing strikes. There's a called strike over the outside corner, 2-1. Quinn McGuire pitched the 5th inning for the Fighting Saints. Granese is now the 6th pitcher of the game as he bounces that for ball 3. McGuire in the 5th allowed 2 runs on 3 hits. He did, though, retire the last 2 batters of the inning to prevent any further damage as the Lakers stranded a man at third base. Ground ball up the middle. Diving effort from Ethan Fleming, but it knocks off his glove and into shallow center field. That's going to be a 1-out base hit for Quinn O'Brien. First hit of the day for him. And with that, now all but 1 Roosevelt hitters have been on base at least once. The only one who hasn't is their second baseman, Ian Bagacanza, but he has dropped down a sacrifice bunt, so you can't say he's had 3 unproductive at-bats. Ball high, 1-0 on Andrew Lucas, the right fielder. Lucas is 0 for 1. He has flown out, he's walked, and he has scored. Throw over to first base. The runner dives back in. With the runner on the move, Lucas fouls it to the right side, and O'Brien will have to return to first base. 1-1 count. O'Brien got a good jump there. Unless that was a planned hit and run. That was an opportunity for Lucas to let his teammate steal a base, but instead, runner at first, 1 ball, 1 strike on the number 9 hitter. Chopper to the left side of the infield. Lothan charges at the third baseman gloves, makes a quick throw over to first. It's not in time. Close play. The Saints don't get the call. Credit to Lucas for hustling all the way. That was well done by Lothan, the third baseman. I don't know that there was a whole lot more he could have done there. On an infield single for Andrew Lucas. But just a hair late. And so now they're at first and second with 1 away, and C.J. Chalk is the batter. Dangerous spot here for St. Francis. They've still got a chance to make a run in this game, but that might not be the case if this inning gets out of hand, as a wild pitch on the first toss to Chalk allows O'Brien and Lucas both to advance a base. For whatever reason, Granese has been very wild at the start of every at-bat. He hasn't just fallen behind every hitter, but the first couple of pitches typically in each of these at-bats have been nowhere near the zone, and it hurt him there. Wild pitch on the first toss to Chalk. Now Chalk grounds it past the third baseman and into left field. O'Brien scores. Lucas stops at third. It's a single for Chalk, and it's a 6-1 game. And that was all set up by the wild pitch because the infield came in for St. Francis, and with the infield in, Lothan was not able to make a diving play. That probably would have been routine if he had been playing at normal depth. Instead, he dove for it, couldn't come up with it. It nicked off his glove, and that deadened it on its way out to left field. Turns into an easy RBI single for C.J. Chalk. 6-1 is the score, and they're at the corners. The batter is Maxwell Bowers. Swing and a miss. Bowers is 1 for 3. Doubled way back in the first inning. And now a real chance for Roosevelt to break this game open. It hits Bowers in the back. And so he goes down to first base. A breaking ball from Granese got away from him. Chalk moves up to second base, and Bowers loads him up with only 1 down for Alejandro Munoz, who's already had a huge game. Munoz is 2 for 2, 2 singles, a walk, an RBI, and 2 runs scored. And he takes ball 1 outside. And I was just saying, Granese has started everybody off from behind. He's only thrown 1 first pitch strike. That was to Bowers, and then he followed that up by hitting him. Ball upstairs, 2-0. And the Saints have to be careful here. There is 1 out. So the inning could still potentially end on a ground ball. But no margin for error as Granese misses outside again, 3-0. Couple more base runners, and you go from thinking about the comeback if you're St. Francis to thinking about just making it look respectable. So it's a critical juncture of the game as Granese misses again. It's a 4-pitch walk. 5 straight bad ones from him lead to a hit by pitch, a walk, and another run scoring. The base is still loaded. It's now 7-1 Roosevelt. And Munoz continues his big game. He's been on base 4 times now, scored 2 runs, and now driven in 2 runs. And there will be a meeting on the mound. Saints been going with a new pitcher every inning. There's only 1 out here in the 6th, so it's not time to make a move yet, but there is somebody loosening up down the right field line. I'm not sure who, because he has not yet removed his sweatshirt, which is also a pretty good indication that he's not getting ready to come in the game right now. There will be a little more leeway here for Granese, but if things do spiral out of control within the next few at-bats, there is somebody ready to take his place. 2 runs are in here in the 6th. It all started after a leadoff strikeout. Granazzi got off to a fine start this inning. Struck out Kyle Janenga, actually fell behind Janenga 3-0. Worked his way back, struck him out. But since then, 5 consecutive base runners. Here's Jack Ho. Talk about guys who have had huge games. He takes strike 1 outside. Along with Munoz, the number 3 hitter. Ho is the number 4 hitter. And he's taken advantage of the fact that Munoz is on base because he's driven him in now twice in a row. He's 2 for 3, 2 doubles, 3 runs knocked in. Foul tipped, it's 0-2. So after the meeting on the mound is over, now all of a sudden, Granazzi has found the strike zone. First time he's been ahead of a hitter 0-2. It's just the second time this inning he's even thrown as much as a first pitch strike. Now looking to put him away. Ho takes a ball in the dirt. It skips past Murta, and another run scores. It's a wild pitch. Everybody advances 90 feet. It's 8-1 Lakers. On an 0-2 count, it skids right past Jake Murta. Munoz is at second. Bowers is at third. Second wild pitch of the inning. Infield is in once again for St. Francis. Another big opportunity for Jack Ho. He lofts it foul to the right side. That's going to find the seating area. Lands on the berm down the right field line. All dead grass out there. Kind of a depressing time of year to look at that berm. I try not to unless there's a ball hit that way. That one was. Bad luck. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ho takes up and away, 2-2. Tyler Root stands in the on-deck circle. 2-2 pitch. High pop up. Shallow right field. Moving over on it. Into foul territory is Munson. He makes the catch. Bowers tags from third, and he crosses home plate. So it's 9-1 Roosevelt on the sacrifice fly from Jack Ho, who's now got 4 runs batted in today. And if you're St. Francis right now, you will take that result. Because even though it does mean another run scores, it gets them a little bit closer to ending the inning. And after 5 consecutive base runners, that's the most important thing right now. Just try to slow down this Roosevelt momentum. Tyler Root is the 8th batter of the inning. Runner at third, 2 down. 9-1 is our score now. First pitch strike from Granazzi. Just 2 hits for Roosevelt this inning. They've both been singles. But joined with a walk, a hit by pitch, and a wild pitch. 2 wild pitches, actually. It's turned into a huge inning as that's floated into shallow right. Munson stares it down as he takes 1 step in and makes the catch to retire the side. Roosevelt adds 4 more to their lead. They leave another man at third base, but as we head to the bottom of the 6th, the Lakers have taken complete control of this game. They're on top 9-1.
In the inning for the Lakers, 4 runs on 3 hits. There were no errors, and 1 runner was left on base. attention now pitching for the Lakers, number 26, Peyton Kaiser. And leading off for the Fighting Saints, the third baseman, number 13, Brian Louthan.
9-1 Lakers lead the Fighting Saints in the bottom of the sixth inning at Slammers Stadium in Joliet, Illinois. Saints will try to cut into the lead as the first pitch is knocked into left center field by Louthan. He will head around first base and into second. And on the very first pitch of the sixth inning, St. Francis has an extra base hit. Their second extra base hit of the game. And what those two hits have in common is they both come on the first pitch of an inning. Nate Maliska doubled in the first, and Ryan Louthan does so here in the sixth. We got a pinch hitter for Brian Graves. Dylan Scafuri is coming up.
Number 34, Dylan Scafuri.
We'll try to help the Saints cut away at this lead against the new Roosevelt pitcher. Peyton Kaiser, junior from New Berlin, Wisconsin, came in at the start of the inning. Not off to the start that he was hoping for. Gave up the double to Louthan on the first pitch. And his first one to Scafuri is fouled off for strike one. St. Francis led this game 1-0. 9 unanswered runs for the Lakers. But last inning was setting up to be even worse than it was. Scafuri lines it down the left field line, foul and off the netting. It's 0-2. 5 consecutive batters reached base with 1 out for the Lakers. It looked like they were gearing up for 5, 6, 7 runs maybe. They ended up leaving a man at third base. They settled for 4. It was a good inning for them. But for St. Francis, they were able to get out of it with some room still maybe for a comeback, although that doesn't help as Scafuri strikes out swinging. So not able to advance the runner from second base. 1 on, 1 out. Here's Ethan Fleming. Fleming had just 1 hit in the opening 4-game series. He's got 2 hits in the opening 4 innings of this game. So he's come to life offensively. It's been good to see for the Saints as he fouls the first pitch back for strike 1. 1 on, 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning for the Fighting Saints. Playing their 5th game of the year, their first here at home. They come in 1-3 on the season. This is an island home game. Ball is in the dirt. He went around. That's strike 2. They appealed to the field umpire. He said Fleming was not able to stop himself. And now he's in a hole with 1 out. They had the 4-game trip down to Tennessee last weekend, and then they're back on the road this weekend. Fleming grounds it to the shortstop. The runner stays put as O'Brien throws to first for the out. Two away. Louthan doubled on the first pitch of the inning, and he's still standing over at second base 2 outs later. See if Noah Munson can bring him in. Munson has not been retired today. He takes ball 1. First ball of the inning thrown by Peyton Kaiser. First 7 pitches he threw were all strikes. Got 2 outs that way. Now it's 1-0 on Munson, who takes a strike. It's 1-1. Munson's 1 for 1, singled in the second, walked in the fourth. Downstairs, 2-1. Hitters count here for Munson. Saints are down by 8, and as I said last inning when they were down by just 4, there's still some time to chip away. Ball outside, 3-1. Not as much as there was, and especially with the deficit as big as it is now, you can't plan on getting 1 or 2 runs every inning. But when you get the leadoff man at second base, you've got to find a way to get at least that 1 run in. So far, they haven't been able to do it. But a good count now on Munson, who swings and flies it high in the air out to deep right field. Andrew Lucas drifts back. He's at the warning track, but has room to make the catch. High fly from Munson, but not quite deep enough. As the Saints go down without scoring in the bottom of the 6th, they squander the leadoff double. We'll go to the 7th inning, 9-1. The visitors are on top.
In the inning for the Fighting Saints, no runs on 1 hit, there were no errors, and 1 runner was left on base. Your attention now, pitching for the Fighting Saints, number 17, Cody Knoll.
Top of the 7th inning, it's 9-1. Roosevelt has the lead. They broke this game wide open with 4 runs in the top half of the 6th. And now they'll try to add a few more here in the 7th with a new pitcher on the mound for St. Francis. Right-hander Cody Knoll makes his 2nd appearance. Senior from Plainfield. Went 1 inning his first time out. He allowed 1 hit, but no runs, no walks. He struck out 1. He will face the 6, 7, and 8 batters for the Lakers in the 7th inning. Ian Bagakanza, Kyle Janenga, and then Quinn O'Brien. First pitch from the righty Knoll, misses for ball 1. A few defensive substitutions for the Fighting Saints as well. Brant Singler is in at first base. Christian Rosales is out in left. As Bagakanza takes a strike, it's 1-1. Big at bat for Ian Bagakanza, simply for the fact that he is the only player in the Roosevelt lineup not to have reached base yet. Strike called, 1-2. He wants to make sure that he joins the party. He's 0 for 2 with the sacrifice bunt, a ground out and a fly out. He takes high from Knoll, 2-2. Cody Knoll is the 7th pitcher of the game for St. Francis. Jake Granazzi pitched the 6th, not as effectively as he would have liked. Fouled away by Bagakanza. Gave up 4 runs, all earned on 3 hits, a walk, and a hit by pitch. He did strike out 1 batter. One of the 2 strikeouts of the game for St. Francis pitchers today. 2-2, breaks inside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Next one misses outside, and Bagakanza is able to work his way down to first base on the walk. So he fell behind in the count, fights back, and he does reach base for the first time. So that's all 9 in the batting order for Roosevelt, who have reached at least once now. Still just 2 of the 9 hitters have not gotten a hit. Bagacanza is 1, and Tyler Root is the other. He's walked twice. Kyle Janenga swings the first pitch and fouls it away. Janenga's 1 for 3, hit an RBI single his first time up. Since then, a couple of leadoff outs recorded. He grounded out to lead off the 4th. He struck out swinging to begin the 6th inning. He bats with a man at first and nobody out in the 7th. The 0-1, high fly ball into right center field. Thomas and Munson converge on it. It's Mitchell Thomas, the center fielder, making the catch out in right center. And there's the first out of the 7th inning. That'll bring up the shortstop, Quinn O'Brien. So I mentioned the defensive changes for the Fighting Saints. We'll see if they play out 1 for 1 on the offensive side. I would imagine they would. So we'll see a different lineup for the Fighting Saints come the bottom of the 7th inning. Swing and a miss. 0-1 on Quinn O'Brien. Dominic Alberico is set to lead off the bottom of the 7th inning. So with Rosales having checked in for him, presumably we'll see Rosales lead off the bottom of the 7th. Ball outside, 1-1. Nold sets for the next pitch and fires a strike. It's 1-2. He's done a nice job of getting ahead of everybody this inning. He did eventually succumb to Bagacanza on issuing that walk, but control has been an issue for the Saints staff all day. Even though you don't like to see that walk on the board, the fact that Nold is throwing more strikes than balls is a positive sign. Five walks issued today, plus 1 hit by pitch by the St. Francis staff. Inside, 2-2. It was O'Brien's single last inning that began that big 4-run rally. He was the first of 5 consecutive Lakers to reach base. 2-2 pitches grounded up the middle. Fleming fields it behind the bag, flips to second for 1. Montgomery's relay is not in time. Saints will settle for 1 out on the play, 6-4 on the fielder's choice. And the inning continues. Runner at first, 2 away. And the batter is a pinch hitter. It is not the right fielder, Andrew Lucas. It is instead Troy Scott, a sophomore outfielder, making his season debut. First at bat in his Roosevelt career. So both teams are emptying their benches right now, giving everybody a chance. For Roosevelt, it is the season debut today, as Scott is able to back out of the way of ball 1. Nold glances at the runner at first base, turns his attention to home plate, and Scott hits it deep out to center field where Thomas has a beat on it. He backs up and makes the catch. An easy out to retire the side. Nold pitches around the leadoff walk, retiring 3 in a row. And we'll go to the bottom of the 7th at the stretch. Our score is Roosevelt 9, St. Francis 1.
In the inning for the Lakers, no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 runner was left on base. Saints, the left fielder, number 8, Christian Rosales.
Bottom 7, our score is 9-1, Roosevelt. Christian Rosales swings the first pitch and bounces it off of second base. It kicks over to the left side of the infield, and Rosales has an infield hit. Good start to the inning for St. Francis. Rosales getting his first at-bat of the game after he just checked in as the new left fielder last inning. That's a break on a ball that was hit up the middle. Looked like a routine grounder off the bat. But after hitting off of second base, nobody could make the play on it. And Rosales is aboard in front of the center fielder, Mitchell Thomas. Thomas swings at the first pitch as well. He hits it high into left. It's playable for Maxwell Bowers, and Bowers makes the catch. One away. A few changes around the field for Roosevelt. Ethan Wills is the new second baseman for the Lakers, new right fielder as well. Brant Singler bats for the Saints for the first time. Singler replaced Nate Maliska in the lineup after a good day at the plate for Maliska. He went 1 for 2 with a double, a walk, and a run scored. But it's Singler the rest of the way, and he takes ball 1. Brant Singler started one game down in Tennessee this weekend. Went 0 for 4. He fouls this away. It's 1-1. I mentioned last inning, this home game is on an island for the Fighting Saints. They're back in Tennessee this weekend, and they're back in Tennessee again the following weekend. So a lot of time down south to open the season, which is good. It's going to be cold here. Ball low and in, 2-1. And it'll still be cold here, I'm sure, when they come back for more home games in March. A little bit of a better chance, though, that it'll be more temperate. Singler takes a strike, 2-2. Arthur Stamps is the right fielder for Roosevelt after Andrew Lucas was pinch hit for last inning. Strike 3 called. Singler goes down looking. A breaker over the outside corner. 2 away. Saints have gotten their leadoff man on base in 4 consecutive innings and have not scored in any of those innings. They've had the leadoff man on 5 times overall today, but they're still sitting on that 1 run they scored way back in the first. Haruki Murayama is the new batter for St. Francis. Second at bat of the year for Murayama, who struck out in his only plate appearance this weekend. He replaces Max Montgomery in the lineup. Murayama's a senior from Japan. He swings at the first pitch, grounds it up the middle. This time it does not hit second base. And so Quinn O'Brien picks it up, and he does touch second base to retire the side. 6 unassisted on an inning-ending fielder's choice. Saints don't score. They get 1 hit and leave 1. We go to the 8th. 9-1 Lakers.
pitching for the Fighting Saints, number 29, Chris Goa.
9-1 Roosevelt, top of the 8th inning now in Joliet. First pitch from the new St. Francis pitcher Christopher Vilwalk is fouled back for strike one on C.J. Chalk, who leads off the inning for Roosevelt. Chalk batting for the 5th time today, looking to reach base for the 3rd time today. He takes a strike from Vilwalk, 0-2. Cody Nold pitched the 7th inning for the Saints, a scoreless 7th. He pitched around a leadoff walk, retiring the next 3 men. The 0-2 pitch, downstairs for a ball, 1-2. Vilwalk is the 8th pitcher of the game. Saints have used a different guy every inning so far today. They've made a few other substitutions. New center fielder is Jaden Martin. The new third baseman is Ashton Roy. Fouled back. Still 1-2. They've kept Ethan Fleming over at short. But that's it. Everybody else has changed out. Will Calcaterra behind the plate as that ball is swung on and missed for strike 3, but it gets away from Calcaterra and Chalk takes first base on the drop third. Strike 3, wild pitch. And the leadoff man reaches for the Lakers. The new right fielder is Hayden Host. He might have been out there last inning as well. But the bottom line is, as I said, only Fleming remains in the lineup who started today for the Fighting Saints. A lot of changes as well for Roosevelt, though not quite as many. They do bring up a new hitter right now, and that is Nolan Botcher. Botcher replaces Maxwell Bowers in the lineup out in left field. Pitch to Botcher is taken for strike 1. Nolan Botcher had 13 at-bats for Roosevelt a season ago. He went 4 for 13. That's a .308 batting average. The 0-1 pitch is hit deep to left field. It's playable. Roy makes the catch. And that is out number 1. Excuse me, Rosales out in left field. Roy's at third base. Trying to get things straight now with all these new players out there. That is a catch made by Christian Rosales. 1 out in the 8th inning. Chalk still at first base. We'll see if that brings up Alejandro Munoz or not. Munoz, the third baseman, has been up 4 times. He's been on base 4 times. And he does stay in the game to hit for himself. So one of the few starters on either team still in the game right now. Munoz not only has been on base 4 times, he's got 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. Fly ball into right field. Backing up and making the catch is Host. 2 away. So were it not for that wild pitch on strike 3 to C.J. Chalk, we'd be looking at a 1-2-3 inning here. Vilwalk has done a nice job since he's come in, getting a couple of quick outs in the air. And now he'll try to close up the inning facing a new hitter for Roosevelt. That is Adam Claybor, who bats for Jack Ho, the DH. Big game for Ho. He went 2 for 3 with 2 doubles and 4 runs batted in. But his day is done. And now it's Claybor who will bat for him in that DH position. Claybor, the left-handed bat, gets his first at-bat of the season. The junior swings and misses for strike 1. Comes from South Bend, Indiana. to Chicago to play for the Lakers. Ball low and away. Runner takes off. The throw to second base is not in time to get C.J. Chalk. So Chalk reached base on a drop third strike, and now he advances on another pitch in the dirt. He's in scoring position, trying to make this a 9-run game as the count evens up 1-1 on Claybor. Chris Vilwalk steps off the rubber before the next pitch. Still in position to get out of this inning without any runs scoring. Trying to put back-to-back zeros on the scoreboard. Something that the Saints haven't been able to do today. Claybor hits it weakly to the right side of the infield. Ethan Fleming cuts across the diamond, makes the play, and throws out Claybor at first to end the inning. 3 straight retired to wrap it up by Vilwalk. And we'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Roosevelt 9, St. Francis 1 in Joliet.
Your attention now pitching for the Lakers, number 38, Anthony Tardif. And leading off for the Fighting Saints, the catcher, number 5, Will Calcaterra.
9-1 St. Francis trails as we open up the bottom of the 8th inning. Fighting Saints trying to make a run against a new Roosevelt pitcher whose first toss is inside for ball 1 on Will Calcaterra. The new pitcher is Anthony Tardif, freshman from Orlando, Florida. There's 1-0 to Will Calcaterra, is drilled right at the third baseman. Munoz makes a nice play. Tough break for Calcaterra, bidding for his first hit of the season, or rather his second hit of the season. He came in 1 for 3, and now he's 1 for 4 on the year, but he hit that one hard enough to turn it into a hit. Unfortunately, Munoz was right there to rob him. 1 away, and Tardif starts off his college career with an out. Now he'll face the third baseman, Ashton Roy. Roy takes ball 1. Nolan Botcher stayed in the game for Roosevelt. He's in left field now. Every player but one has changed out on the St. Francis score sheet as Roy takes a strike, 1-1. Ashton Roy getting his first at-bat of the season. First at-bat of his college career. Freshman out of Glendale Heights takes the ball low. It's 2-1. Man on deck is Dylan Scafuri. He pinch hit for Brian Graves last time through the batting order. 2-1 to Roy. Fly ball to right, foul and out of play. Yeah, Scafuri was the one guy I wasn't entirely sure of because he did pinch hit for Graves last time around. But that was at the DH, so whether or not he was still in the game, I wasn't entirely positive. Everybody else we've seen now at the plate and in the field, so they were all straight switches by Brian Mahalik. Ball inside, full count on Roy. But Scafuri's on deck, and if anybody else reaches, it'll be Ethan Fleming, the only starter who's still out there. Few starters still in the game for Roosevelt, as that ball is in the dirt for ball 4. Roy fell behind 1-2. He gets 3 straight balls and makes it to first base. So a man aboard for the Fighting Saints. The leadoff man was retired on that line shot from Calcaterra that was caught by Munoz at third base. It's the first time since way back in the 3rd inning that Roosevelt was able to retire the leadoff batter, but the second batter of the inning does reach base as Scafuri now takes ball 1. Dylan Scafuri is 0 for 1. He struck out swinging in his first at-bat back in the 6th when he came on as a pinch hitter. He takes a strike. It's 1-1. It is not Ethan Fleming on deck, so barring a double play here, we will see a pinch hitter, and then all 9 starters will have been replaced. Fouled off, 1-2. The man in the on-deck circle is Ryan Bannon, who presumably will then take over at shortstop next inning. So even if he didn't get to bat here in the 8th, he probably would in the 9th inning. Runner at first with 1 out. 1-2 pitch. Fly ball into right field, crushed by Scafuri back towards the fence, and it one hops that wall. Scafuri's got extra bases as Roy heads to third base and stops there. Scafuri lost his helmet somewhere around first, but he makes it in safely to second base with a big double. 3rd extra base hit of the game for the Fighting Saints. And threatening to put their first runs on the board since the bottom of the 1st. For Dylan Scafuri, transfer from Joliet Junior College, first time on base this year. He had just 1 at bat this season coming into today. And now we see another pinch hitter, and it is, as expected, Ryan Bannon, who has taken his swings on deck prior to this at bat. Bannon replaces Ethan Fleming. Good game for Fleming. 2 for 3 at the plate. Played well defensively as well. First pitch to Bannon. Foul tipped into the catcher's glove for strike 1. Swing and a miss, 0-2 on the freshman Bannon out of Willowbrook High School in Villa Park, Illinois, just west of Chicago. Bannon making his first collegiate appearance at the plate. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Big strikeout for Tardif, who likewise is making his collegiate debut. And Tardif is a little bit closer to pitching a scoreless inning in his first game at Roosevelt. It was in doubt there with runners at second and third with 1 out. He needed that strikeout, and the 0 on the scoreboard at the bottom of the 8th is a lot more important for him personally than it is for Roosevelt as a team. They've got an 8-run lead, so I don't think Jason Becker would lose any sleep over a run or 2 scoring here in the bottom of the 8th, but Tardif might. He wants that perfect ERA after his first appearance. The batter is Hayden Host, getting his 4th at bat of the season. Host takes a ball in the dirt. That's a good block. If that had gotten by, that would have been a run for sure. Instead, it's just a 1-0 count. Hayden Host is 1 for 3 this year. In his 1 start down in Tennessee over the weekend, he walked once, he got a single, scored a run. So a productive day at the plate, now trying to do it again today as a late replacement. He takes a ball low, 2-0. Host came in for Noah Munson, who started in right field. Runners at second and third after Roy walked, Scafuri doubled. 2 outs in the inning, though. Ball outside 3-0, and Anthony Tardif is in danger of loading the bases. Christian Rosales is on deck. Right down the pike, strike one called on Host. Tough inning for Tardif, but if he can get himself back into this at-bat and put away Hayden Host, he'll have a scoreless 8th inning. Strike two called over the outside corner. Tough call for Host, who thought he had drawn the walk, but instead he'll have to dig in with a full count. Host gets the sign. Here's the pitch. Fly ball into right center field, looking for green space. It finds it. 1 run is in. Scafuri comes behind that runner, and he scores as well. It's a 2-run hit for Hayden Host, and the Saints are back on the board. It's 9-3. Host made it into second base. That should be a single rather than a double. Advanced on the throw. He'll take it. First 2 RBIs of the season for Host, and it comes with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The inning continues. Christian Rosales is up next. Rosales is 1 for 1. He's drilled in the head on the first pitch. He was able to duck out of the way of that one, so as it came by, it didn't get him flush in the back of the head. It did knock his helmet off, but he seems to be okay, more frustrated than anything as he walks down to first base. But always a scary sight when you see a guy get hit in the head, so it's good for Rosales to see that he was able to mostly get out of the way of that one. That could have been a lot worse than it was. I'm not going to say it felt good, but it could have been a lot worse. He's been up twice today. He's on base for the second time. 4 men have reached here in the bottom of the 8th for the Fighting Saints. And while the training staff takes a look at Rosales, it gives Roosevelt a chance to have a meeting on the mound. Sun is setting here in Joliet. It's 5:30 local time. This is a dangerous time to schedule a game weather-wise. It turned into a record-breaking day, one of the warmest days we've had in February ever in the Chicagoland area. So from that standpoint, things worked out, but you schedule a game at February 18th. It's more than likely going to be very cold outside, and to schedule it at such a time where the sun is going to set during the game makes it a little bit dicier, because as it is, the temperature has dropped a few degrees, but since we started at 63 today, it's not that big a deal. Could just as easily have started in the 30s today and gotten colder as the game has progressed. So fortunately, that isn't the case. But darkness is starting to set in here in Joliet. The lights have taken full effect. We're ready to continue. Rosales is at first, Host is at second, and the batter is Jaden Martin. Martin came on defensively last inning. He gets his first at-bat and swings at the first pitch for a foul ball. Jaden Martin is a junior who is making his season debut. Oh, 0-1 count on him. It's been a tough inning for Anthony Tardif, trying to get out of it with just the 2 runs scoring, and he's now 1 strike away as he gets the inside corner, 0-2. Next pitch on its way in the dirt. It gets away, and the runners will advance. So a wild pitch makes the count 1-2 on Martin and puts runners at second and third. And now all of a sudden, the Saints are in a position where if they can get a base hit here, the game becomes very interesting with 4 outs still to play. They could cut this deficit down as close as 4 with just a single from Jaden Martin. Tardif's next pitch, downstairs. So he got ahead of him 0-2. Now it's even 2 balls and 2 strikes. Big pitch coming up from Anthony Tardif. Swing and a miss. It's in the dirt, so the throw has to be made down to first base, but Martin is retired. And the 8th inning comes to a close. But the Fighting Saints score a pair of runs on a 2-out, 2-run single from Hayden Host. As we head to the 9th, our score is 9-3 Roosevelt. One inning to play in the home opener for St. Francis. They trail Roosevelt 9-3, and they bring in their 9th pitcher of the day. It is the senior right-hander Zach Blazekowicz, making his 2nd appearance of the season. Pitched a perfect 9th inning with a couple of strikeouts on Friday in St. Francis's lone victory over the weekend. He starts off with strike one. A few more defensive changes for the Fighting Saints, but no personnel changes. They've just switched positions around. Get to it in just a second. Actually, there's one personnel change. Ball outside, 1-1. There's a new catcher. I think it's TJ Tarnowski. It's hard to tell if he's got the catcher's gear on, but that's my guess. Ryan Bannon pinch hit last inning for Ethan Fleming. He stays in the game. He's playing right field. The 1-1 is fouled off to the right side. Christian DeGroot, by the way, in the batter's box for Roosevelt. His first at bat of the day, batting in place of Tyler Root. .217 hitter last year. DeGroot takes a ball outside, 2-2. Ryan Bannon stayed in to play right field. Hayden Host, who got the big hit with 2 RBIs last inning, moves from right to third. Ashton Roy, who scored one of the 2 runs last inning, moves from third to short. Blazekowicz is the pitcher. The 2-2 pitch to DeGroot misses for ball 3. Full count on DeGroot, leading off the top of the 9th inning for the Lakers. Fouled off to the right side, out of play. Blazekowicz is the 9th pitcher of the game for the Fighting Saints. Anthony Panzella started. Everybody went 1 inning. Panzella was followed by Otis, Jerka, Leonard, McGuire, Granazzi, Nold, and Vilwalk, who was probably the most impressive pitcher of the day when he threw the 8th. Fouled back, still 3-2. Chris Vilwalk faced 4 batters in the 8th inning. He retired 3 of the 4, but the only man to reach against him was on a drop third strike. So he threw a quick 8th inning, had 1 strikeout, and did not allow a run. The 8th pitch of this at-bat, DeGroot grounds it softly to third base. Backhanded pickup by Host, throws across the diamond, and a nice pick on the other end by Brant Singler retires DeGroot 1 away. So the leadoff man is down in the top of the 9th. And let's see who will come up to bat now. It feels like a mystery every time somebody steps in. Even some of the players who have been switched out defensively have been switched again at the plate. So I'm trying to be careful here. This is Ethan Wills. Ethan Wills came in to play second base for Ian Bagakanza and remains in the game in this spot in the batting order. He takes strike 1. 1 out, nobody on. 4 consecutive Lakers have been retired, which matches the longest streak of today's game. They haven't scored since putting 4 runs on the board in the top of the 6th. Called strike 2 on Wills. They scored 1 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 5th, 4 runs in the 6th inning. St. Francis scored 1 in the 1st and 2 in the 8th. Ball outside 1 and 2. So it was at 1.1-0 Fighting Saints, and then 9 unanswered runs by Roosevelt until the Saints finally did answer, getting that 2 spot in the bottom of the 8th. Two out runs in the bottom of the 8th. 1 and 2. Strike 3 called. Blazekovich sets down Wills. 2 away in the 9th. 3rd strikeout of the game for St. Francis pitching. We have not seen a whole lot of strikeouts. This is actually the 4th of the day, including that drop third strike last inning. St. Francis batters have only struck out 5 times today, so just 9 total. And now Blazekovich looks for a 1-2-3 inning. He fires strike 1 on the Roosevelt catcher, Kyle Janenga. Still in there. One of the few starters on either team still remaining. The 0-1. Janenga takes outside to even the count. The man on deck is one of the other starters still in the game. Quinn O'Brien will bat next if Janenga reaches. If not, we go to the bottom of the 9th. Strike 2. 1 and 2 on Janenga. Two outs, nobody on. This would be the second 1-2-3 inning of the game if Blazekovich can finish it, and it looks like he will. A pop-up to shallow center field, and it's dropped in center. The ball is dropped by Jaden Martin, and so it is not a 1-2-3 inning. Janenga reaches on a 2-base error. Well, I'd say it's a tough time of night with the lighting. Maybe you'd lose that one in the lights, but he did find it straight into his glove and it just popped right out. So it didn't look like he lost sight of it. He just misplayed it. Runner at second base, 2 outs. And Quinn O'Brien will indeed get his 5th chance to bat today. Strike 1 called on O'Brien. Arthur Stamps waits in the on-deck circle for what would be his first at-bat of the game if we get there. Janenga is the first base runner this year against Blazekovich in his 2nd inning of work. Fly ball into center field. Another chance for Martin. This one a little bit harder, but this one he's able to reach up and make a great catch. Well, he dropped the last one maybe on purpose to set himself up for the highlight reel play on a deep fly to center hit by O'Brien. Great running grab made by Martin to retire the side. The Fighting Saints hold the Lakers off the board for the 3rd consecutive inning. And as we go to the bottom of the 9th, our score is 9-3 Roosevelt. into the bottom of the ninth. Last chance coming up for St. Francis, trailing 9-3. They'll send their top of their order up against a new pitcher for Roosevelt. It is the sixth pitcher today for the Lakers. Antoine Harvey Jr. makes his Roosevelt debut, and his first pitch is popped foul by Singler into the seats. Harvey transferred over from I'll check again in a second. I want to make sure I get it right. As Singler pops it up to the left side of the infield. The shortstop is there to make the catch. One away. Quinn O'Brien sets down Brant Singler. And that'll bring up Maruyama. Antoine Harvey is from Olive Harvey College. Came in to Roosevelt this year. And his Lakers career is off to a good start, 1 up, 1 down. First pitch to Haruki Maruyama, misses low for ball 1. Maruyama came in as a pinch hitter in the 7th inning. Grounded into an inning-ending fielder's choice. He's been playing second base ever since. Hasn't gotten a chance yet defensively. He takes a strike to even the count at 1. TJ Tarnowski is on deck. Maruyama taps it foul. The count is 1-2. One out, nobody on. Harvey's next pitch misses downstairs, 2-2. Good block by Janenga. Nobody on base. So he didn't necessarily need to, but it's good to get the practice anyway. Antoine Harvey Jr. looks to put away Haruki Maruyama for the second out of the inning. Ground ball to the shortstop, fielded cleanly by O'Brien. Second chance in a row for him. And the second one that he plays flawlessly. 6-3 on the putout. And the Fighting Saints are down to their final out of the ball game. Loss here would drop them to 1-4 on the season before another Tennessee trip this weekend, going to Pulaski, Tennessee this time. They'll take on Freed Hardeman. TJ Tarnowski takes ball 1. Tarnowski came on as the new catcher last inning, third catcher of the day. Jake Murda played the first 6 innings. Will Calcaterra played the next 2. And there's Tarnowski for the 9th. He hits it foul. It's 1-1. Junior transfer from Mount Mercy University. Originally from Waukesha, so he's traversed the entire Midwest. Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois. Ball outside, 2-1. Tarnowski did get to bat once in the weekend series at Cumberland University. He was hit by a pitch, so no official at-bats. He's trying to work his way on base again here. He's ahead in the count, 3-1. Roosevelt has only had one 1-2-3 inning today. Tarnowski wants to make sure they don't get a second. He hits a tapper to the left side of the infield. Tough play for a charging Munoz. The third baseman makes the throw to first to retire the catcher Tarnowski and end this ball game. By a final score of 9-3, Roosevelt comes out on top. The Lakers piled up 9 unanswered runs after the Saints took an early lead, and it was all Roosevelt from the middle innings on. Let's go back over the scoring of this one from the start, because it did start well for St. Francis. Their first batter in the bottom of the first inning, Nate Maliska, swung at the first pitch and reached on a double. He moved to third on a ground out, scored on another ground out from Jake Murda, and the Saints were off and running, up 1-0. That was the last time they held a lead, though. Roosevelt tied the score in the second when Tyler Root walked and later scored on a Kyle Janenga single. And then they scored 2 runs in the third, getting RBI base hits from Munoz and Ho. That made it 3-1. They added 2 more runs in the 5th inning on a 2-run double from Jack Ho. That made it a 5-1 game, and that was the last time it still felt like an attainable comeback for St. Francis, because in the 6th, they broke it wide open. 4 runs for Roosevelt with 5 consecutive base runners. Single, 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 hit by pitch, walk, and a couple of wild pitches thrown in there as well. And by the time that rally was all done, it was an 8-run lead for Roosevelt. Saints tried to make a game of it late. They scored 2 runs in the 8th inning on a 2-out, 2-run single from Hayden Host, but it was too little too late. The Saints squandered a number of run-scoring opportunities. They left 9 men on base in the game. They had the leadoff man on at one point, 4 consecutive innings, but didn't score in any of those frames. And as a result, they were not able to close out a comeback against Roosevelt. Our final totals today for the Lakers: 9 runs, 10 hits, no errors. For the Saints, 3 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. The Saints used 9 different pitchers in the game. They used 19 different position players in the game. So in a non-conference game early in the season, they were able to achieve that. They got a lot of guys in there. Brian Mahalik got a chance to see a lot of different players. So we'll see how that impacts how things look the rest of the season. But today is a 9-3 loss. Back on the road after this. It'll be a few weeks before we have another St. Francis broadcast here on the USF Sports Network. But you can always keep in touch with the team through GoFightingSaints.com. That's going to do it from Slammer Stadium in Joliet, Illinois, the home of the Fighting Saints, where they just fell in their home opener this season to the Lakers of Roosevelt by a final score of 9-3. Until next time, Terry Bonadonna signing off from Joliet, Illinois. Enjoy the rest of your night.